So the madman actually did it. Skrillex released 2 albums in 2 days, and I could have not been happier. Don't Get Too Close is Skrillex's third studio album, fourth if you count the Jack U album, and I gotta say this one is very different from his previous one, which was released a day before, Quest for Fire. I gotta say these two albums complement each other in really great ways, and today we're gonna go over all of the songs he released before, like released on the day, the February 18th, and we're gonna go analyze the whole thing because I gotta say this quickly became one of my favorite albums, not only of the year but also of the entire life. I loved Don't Get Too Close, and today I'm gonna go over each song and tell like what are the best things that I like from each, because we really have to appreciate the work Skrillex put into these albums, because it's not easy to make this kind of music and especially put all these samples together, the production value, and also like I feel like the marketing for these two albums was really great. And I discussed Quest for Fire last week. I went into a deep dive in each song, what I think about it, what I think about Skrillex, and this one is like its sister album. It's really amazing the way that he kind of like divided each one into its very distinct style, and also released it just like a day after. It was literally during a live show in New York that it was completely unexpected. I never expected it to be released, and I actually kind of predicted it would be in the same month, but I never expected it to be this soon. I was hoping maybe like a week, maybe 2 weeks, have time, give people time to process Quest for Fire before Don't Get Too Close. But I gotta say, I have no complaints. I love this one. It made one of the best days of my life. I feel like Don't Get Too Close is just really unique. And yeah, so without further ado, let's go analyze this thing because I'm really excited. I love Don't Get Too Close. I love Skrillex. And yeah, let's go on with the singles that he released over the last year.
Don't get too close. Nobody knows me. Don't get too close.
So the Don't Get Too Close era actually started 2 years ago. The same with Quest for Fire. Skrillex released a song that we didn't know was going to be a part of this album, which is Don't Go with Justin Bieber and Don Toliver. So this song, I have to admit, it didn't really capture my attention when it was released. He's made a couple songs with Justin Bieber that are, I think, better than this one. It's kind of like more poppy. You can't really tell it's Skrillex. That's like one of my major gripes with the song, is that it lacks most of his distinctive style, his production. But I feel like it's just really good after a couple listens. It's not really a song that made me think too much, but I feel like in the context of the whole album, it's just it's really good. So yeah, this one was the first song, a single of the album. I didn't even know it was that way. So that wasn't until 2023 when Skrillex started releasing singles for both Quest for Fire and Don't Get Too Close. And I feel like these ones really encapsulated what I love the most about this album. It's kind of like a mix of electronic with softer styles than Quest for Fire. It has a lot of rap elements. It has like a lot of guest rappers that are in the album as vocalists. And I gotta say, I love rap in a lot of ways, and I feel it complements Skrillex's production style in really great ways. And that is shown really well in the next one, which is Way Back. And I gotta say, this one was I have to say that Way Back was one of my most anticipated songs since we heard a little snippet of it in the trailer that he released in the first day of 2023. He released this like small teaser that teased songs from Quest for Fire, from Don't Get Too Close, and Way Back just sounded really good. And when I heard the whole thing, it was just a really nice liquid drum and bass song that really made me really happy. It is a collaboration with Trippie Redd and Pink Pantheress, and I gotta say, Way Back it's just really beautiful song. I feel like this one really sets the tone for the entire album, and I thought it was a really great choice for a first single of Don't Get Too Close. So yeah, I think Way Back was a truly perfect beginning of the 2023 Skrillex era with Don't Get Too Close. And after that, we get Real Spring, which is a song with Blady. And this is the second collaboration with Blady. He had a song with him in Young Lean's album, and it was Summertime Blood. And I gotta say, that was one of the best songs I heard last year. I think if you haven't heard that song, you gotta go check it out, especially if you're a Skrillex fan, because it really shows the production value of Blady that mixes really well with Skrillex. Just like that song, this one has a lot of really soft elements to it, like a lot of really great samples. It's really well produced, and it's just really emotional to listen to. It has a really cool drop with, Skrillex distinct new style he's trying to carve. And just like with Way Back, has a really cool style that he's kind of showing off and Don't Get Too Close, and also it sets apart for itself from Quest for Fire in a lot of ways. I feel like these two albums have really distinct themes and really distinct, different lyrical content, production value. These songs are way softer, more lyrical driven than and Quest for Fire, and this one really provides a very nice addition to the album. But it was Skrillex's third single that was released during the 2023 lead up to this album that really captured my heart. I feel like the title song of the album, Don't Get Too Close, which is a collaboration with Bibi Borelli, which is actually his third collaboration, like one of the three songs that he released with Quest for Fire with Don't Get Too Close. I feel like this one is actually the best of the three. I Don't Get Too Close, the title album, is just something really different from what we heard before. I feel like this is a very special song. It actually reminds me of some of Skrillex's old songs that he released with his first EPs, with like similar to With You Friends, Long Drive, and Summit with Ellie Goulding. This one carries that same sort of like really soft, kind of like melodic style. I loved it. I feel like this one is one of those songs that is kind of like a break from the action of the album and really delivers a very emotional feeling that really stuck with me. And Bibi Borelli's lyrics and the things it says, I just loved it. And I feel like also himself, like Skrillex, Sonny Moore, crediting himself as a singing artist as Sonny Moore, really adds to the nostalgia feeling. And also when you analyze the lyrics of the song, you realize like it's kind of like an ode to nostalgia, to those moments we had as young teenagers, as young kids, like having fun in the garage with your friends, making songs. And it's just so full of that awesome feeling. So yeah, this song definitely one of the favorites of the album. I loved it in so many ways, and I've been listening to it ever since. So yeah, I really enjoyed these three singles. I feel like there were really great lead ups for the album, especially the third one, Don't Get Too Close. And it just really, they really set the tone for the rest of the thing that I just enjoyed them so much. And I feel like before I listened to the whole album, I realized that it was gonna be one of my favorite Skrillex albums, one of my favorite albums of all time. And I gotta say, when I analyzed the whole thing, it really stuck with that style. It stuck with that like soft, melodic, really powerful and like emotional style that is very distinct from Skrillex's more, hard hitting songs from Quest for Fire. This one is more reminiscent of like the songs I've mentioned before that has like those melodic, emotional feelings. And analyzing the whole thing, I really enjoyed it. So let's go with the whole entire album from beginning to end.
I'm so out of tune. I'm getting mixed feelings from you, We're too out of tune.
So Don't Get Too Close starts off with Don't Leave Me Like This, which is a really nice play on his Skrillex's previous song with Bobby Raps, which is Leave Me Like This. It's basically has like the same vocal, same sample, Bobby Raps' voice. It mixes it in a like more softer style that is like I feel like Skrillex's decision to have similar songs introducing both albums, it was really good. Like I said before, this album has softer, more calm themes than the previous album, Quest for Fire. It's a really distinct piece of work. And right from the cover art, I feel like it's really creative. I love the porcupine slash hedgehog on the cover. It's really cool looking. I feel like this one really captures that essence that Skrillex is trying to have here. And I feel like the porcupine is really interesting, especially with the singles, because it reminds me of this concept and philosophy called the hedgehog's dilemma. Basically, this like the hedgehog represents the way that people need to be close to others for warmth, but the closer you get, like you hurt them too. It's kind of like so basically like the spikes of the hedgehog hurts if you get too close. And I feel like I don't know if anybody else pointed that out, but I feel like that theme is present throughout the lyrics, throughout the content of the album. And I feel like I mean, if I'm right, I would love to have that confirmed, but I feel like it really reminded me of that concept. So that's the first new release. Then we have Way Back, which I already discussed. Then we got Selecta with Beam. And I gotta say, this is one of those songs that really grew on me after a couple of listens. I was on my fourth or fifth listen of the album when I really got into the song. I feel like it's really awesome. And like the drop is really cool. It's a really nice, it has a really nice production. And Beam's voice really shines in this album. I really like this song after a couple of listens. Then we got Ceremony with Young Lean and Blady. And this is their second collaboration, the three of them together, because Blady and Young Lean collaborated with Skrillex and another song called Summertime Blood, which I already discussed. And that really became one of my favorite songs of last year. I thought it was an amazing song. So I feel like this one, Ceremony, I put it in a really high pedestal. And I gotta say, like, it didn't really lived up to the level I was expecting with the other song with Summertime Blood. But I gotta say, it was really good after a couple listens. I really enjoyed the song after a while. And even though it was one of my least favorites of the album, I feel like it really showed how Skrillex put his heart and soul into it, and there's not a single skippable song. I feel like this is one of those few perfect albums where every song works really well. Which, speaking of, leads into the next one, which is Real Spring. I love this song, already discussed it. Such an amazing second collaboration with Lady. So then we got Summertime, which is a song Skrillex made with Kid Cudi, and I gotta say this song also was really good. I'm not really familiar with Kid Cudi. I heard a couple of his songs. I feel like his voice is really well, and it works really well in Summertime. His verses really shine in the song. It gives a really fun feeling, you know, and I feel like this was gonna be a really great summer anthem. I really enjoyed it, and it leads into the next song, which quickly became one of my favorites. I love this song so much, and I really want to explain why, because the next one, Bad For Me, with Corbin and Chief Keef, it's just really good. It has really great lyrics. It's really singable, really replayable. I love to sing along with the song, and the production is really great. It has like this kind of like reggaeton ish beat going on, and but it also mixes it with house, and you know, the two artists verses really pick up the song and give it a really special feeling. I love this song. I played it so many times and quickly became one of my favorites in the album. So it was really unexpected. I didn't expect a song like this one to really hit me hard, but it also makes me feel calm. It really makes me feel want to like party and chill at a pool or somewhere. I just love this one, and I really like to come back to it later because I loved it. So next we got 3 a.m., which is a really great song. I love this song. It has a really great production style, and those like high pitched vocals that are kind of like classic Skrillex, you know, like really high pitched samples going on. And 3 a.m. really has a really nice vocals from Prentice, from Anthony Green, which are the collaborators. I feel like this one really shines, and also became one of my favorites of the album. I feel like 3 a.m. has like that calm, like feeling that you want to listen to, basically fall. Like, I feel like this is a song to like fall asleep because it's so calm and so just nice to listen to, and it's really one of my favorite songs of the album. And it has like that really good electronic style that Skrillex is known for. I love the way he experimented with these songs to create a really cohesive piece. And yeah, so that after that we get Don't Go with Justin Bieber, Don Toliver. We discussed it already. I thought it was a good song, just didn't really live up to my expectations. I feel like it kind of stands out in the album in a way because it doesn't have, it's kind of like more of a pop song, like something you listen to in the radio and don't really think much of. But yeah, so anyways, then it falls into Don't Get Too Close, which it's really became one of my favorite songs in the album too. Then Mixed Signals with Sway Lee. I love this one. Mixed Signals is another drum and bass song, the second one after Way Back. But this one is really, it's kind of more, it's a little bit harder with drum and bass. The first one is kind of more liquid. This one is it's just really good. And Sway Lee's vocals always, I love the songs with Sway Lee. I think he's one of my favorite rappers because the way his like softer higher pitch vocals mixed with Skrillex's production works really well. And the drum and bass beat is just very beautiful. And this is just a really beautiful song. It's just so nice to listen to. And I would love this to have been the final song of the album after Don't Get Too Close, but also the next one, Painting Rainbows. I thought it stood out in the beginning, like the first two listens of the album. But after a while, it also became like one of my favorites. I thought this song was really good after a couple of listens. It's another collaboration with Bibi Borelli, and the lyrics are really fun. The way she sings is really fun, and Skrillex's production is really good. It has a similar beat to Bad For Me, but also shines in its own way. And I just love it so much. I feel like every song in this album really stands out. Maybe Don't Go feels a little out of place, but it's not something that really, irks me too much. I feel like it like every song is just really good to listen to like over the course of the album. And I just have no, like, I can't give enough praise to Don't Get Too Close. I feel like I like this one way better than Quest for Fire for many reasons. But yeah, I love the way the Skrillex like combines the production, the calm feelings, and Don't Get Too Close. And yeah, those are pretty much all my thoughts. I feel like this is an amazing album. Everything from the cover art, the marketing, the way it was released out of nowhere, basically. I really expected it to be released like around March or like late February at the most. I know Skrillex, like knowing the way he is, I thought he was going to release it soon, but I didn't expect it to be too soon. But yeah, anyways, I love this album. I feel like I'm going to give it a 95 out of 100. It's just really beautiful and really like soft to listen to, really different from everything we heard about from Skrillex, but it's just amazing. I can't recommend this album enough. And yeah, so anyways, those are pretty much all my thoughts on Don't Get Too Close. If you like it, check out the album and also subscribe, follow, all that. And yeah, so anyways, those are all my thoughts, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.